Every couple goes through their share of communication issues. Did you know that everybody has an erotic blueprint that explains their sexual preferences, needs, and desires?
Netflix's Sex, Love, and Goop dives into these issues. And joining us now with more is somatic sexologist and founder of the Erotic Blueprint Types, Jaiya. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, oh, it's such a pleasure to be here.
I tell you, when I heard about this, I'm like, wow. And then when I saw the trailer,
Ooh.
I could not believe it. It really blew me away.
Fan her down a little bit. Talk to me about why this is important to get out there.
I think that the show Sex, Love, and Goop really starts a conversation. I think sexuality, intimacy is something that we don't talk about or we feel shame about talking about, especially with someone who we deeply love. And so it starts to have that conversation, gets us into that place where we feel safe because we're seeing other couples go through that. The courage of the couples on the show is just astounding. And as you see their journeys, I think it gives us bravery to start to talk about it.
You know, I've heard before that when sex is good in a relationship, it's a very small part. But when it's a bad part of the relationship, it's everything. Would you agree?
Absolutely, I would agree to that. Love is like the foundation of our relationship, but sex can be something that can break that foundation when it's not going well, when we're grinning and bearing it, when our bodies are starting to tense around our lover and we're building up resentment over time or we feel dissatisfied, can definitely be a detriment.
Talk to me a little bit about the blueprint, because you say everyone has a different blueprint. That has got to be pretty hard to tap into because some people might be embarrassed by their blueprint.
Absolutely. We can have different blueprints, have different shames. So there are 5 erotic blueprints. There's the energetic, which is someone who's turned on by space and tease and anticipation, longing, yearning. The sensual, which is turned on by our senses being ignited. So think candles and romance and slow dancing and the smells and the taste. The sexual, which is what we think of in our culture as sex. And then the kinky, and that's where the most of the shame shows up, is in the taboo. So people who are kinky have that turn on is in what is taboo for them. And then the final one is the shapeshifter, which is someone who's turned on by all of it.
And how do you really find out what you are if we're all afraid to talk about it?
So one way is to go online. We have an erotic blueprint quiz, so people can take the quiz. There's an in-depth quiz that gives you all the percentages of each blueprint that you are. That's one way to start the conversation. And another way is to simply create a container of safety. What would have you feel safe to overcome the shame of having an experience with your partner, of going through your body? In the show, we do something called body mapping, which is going through the body and seeing how we like different kinds of touch and learning about our bodies. There's no shame in learning about who you are as an erotic being and what turns you on.
How does the conversation go when one of the partners wants to tackle this and the other one's a little reluctant?
Yeah, the number one reason people come to see me is a discrepancy. One wants to talk about it, one wants to explore, the other one feels shy. They were taught when they grew up, like, we shouldn't talk about sex. This shouldn't be something that we do. Or if we're talking about it, there's something wrong in our relationship.
Right.
And so I say blame me. Find a show, find an article, find something that you could send to your partner and say, what do you think about this? To start to open up the conversation in a safe way. Going to your partner and saying there's something wrong and we need to talk, and approaching it that way will put your partner on edge and will shut them down even more. So how can you create safety and make it easeful for you to start to open up that conversation?
So this show is going to explore all of these things, but we do know that this is TV. So how much can you really get into in a TV show like this?
I love how the show was filmed. Personally, I'm so proud of it because you can see in something simple as a breath or a tear coming down someone's face, and it's shot so exquisitely well that you can actually see the transformation that people are having without it having to be too explicit.
Okay. Now, people come to you and they do obviously a little bit more private sessions. I would imagine they take a little bit of a different turn than what we're going to see in the show.
Yeah, we have private sessions, but also you can learn a lot of this content online. We also have online courses in the erotic blueprints that take people very deep into it. So you could learn in the privacy of your own home. You can learn with experts nowadays because of COVID and because now we have Zoom. We can teach more online, and it actually translates.
Okay, so what do we see on the show?
So on the show, you are seeing me guide a couple, Erica and Damon, through, they have a discrepancy or a mismatch in their relationship. And I'm guiding them through understanding who they are so that they can communicate that and open that up. And so there's a lot of embodied stuff that I'm doing because I am a somatic sexologist, which means I work with the body. So everything from touches, just light, simple touches, to connecting in the eyes, to breathing together. We even do a touchless orgasm in there. So that's one of the more edgier moments. But there's also things like body, just looking at our own bodies. There's a practitioner, Amina, who is there looking with an older woman in the mirror of what do we feel about our bodies and our body shame. And we're seeing practitioners work hands-on with people in the show.
Yeah, we get in our own ways so many times, don't we?
We do. All those voices in our heads that tell us, we're not good enough or we're not doing it right or, our body's supposed to look a certain way as we age. And I think that the show really busts a lot of those myths.
All right.
Awesome.
Love, sex, and goop. Jaiya, we're looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.